Sorry, people. Welcome to LRFC. We are live. We are live. Apologies, apologies. Haven't prepared myself very well. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I've been trying to what I do normally is stream on all the platforms, especially Twitter. I think you have to have a premium account. They won't let you unless you have their account basically and pay monthly kind of thing. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I pay enough already for for StreamYard. So you want me to pay extra for Twitter or X, whatever you call it now. No, thank you very much. So we're just gonna stay on our channel and then we're gonna discuss football. This is first of many shows I'll be doing. Tomorrow night I'll be talking to Mr. Igal from obviously Igal Football Talk. So Igal Talks Football, and then after that I'll do Nuruddin. That should be on Wednesday. I'm gonna be talking about the football clubs and about content creating and all that stuff. So it's a lot of lot of stuff like personal stuff. I hope they won't have an issue with it. Yeah, Nuruddin from United Real Therapy, United Therapy. I think that's what it's called. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, let me bring in G. Then we could discuss it further. So I've already done a stream with Quasi. It was very entertaining. It went longer than we should, but yeah, we're gonna discuss obviously about content creating and plus Liverpool Football Club. Tomorrow I'll discuss Arsenal with Igal and Nuruddin on Wednesday. So hopefully I could bring someone in on Thursday as well. It's gonna be a regular thing. I want to talk to every football fan and make the channel bigger than what it is already. Yeah. So let's bring in G. And then, yeah, we could discuss Liverpool Football Club.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
bro, we can't stream on Thingy anymore on Twitter unless you have the premium account.
Okay, I thought it was just my thing. Yesterday did the same thing to me, but I thought, you know what, I was in the middle of a stream and I said, you know what, forget it, I'll deal with it later. I didn't know it was okay, so at least I'm not the only one. So
Yeah,
now I need to
yeah,
get premium for Twitter in order
yeah.
to stream it to Twitter.
What a joke. What a
That's
freaking joke.
long, man. I don't really want to
Nah.
do it. I didn't want to get. I was going to get premium, but not for
No,
that. It was
no,
just
no, no,
for other
no.
purposes, like.
Yeah,
But
yeah, of course. Yeah, but
it
now we
is
have
what
to
it
do
is.
that, bro. I mean, and not only that, because I've got a few accounts in it. I've got my Fuzzy account, which is the
Yeah,
oldest one I've got, and it's got Liverpool following me there as well. So I have to pay for that one, and then I have to pay for the LRFC one.
exactly.
Nah. It's
That's
too
a lot of
much,
money,
bro.
bro.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
on
nah.
top of then having to pay, you know what I mean, to
Stream
stream
yards.
it hit, bro, it's just long. It's a lot of money, you know. People don't
Yeah,
understand. Big up everybody in the chat. You don't get it. Like all of
nah.
this stuff that we're doing, yeah, we're spending our own hard-earned cash, man, just to bring the content for you guys. So I
Uh,
mean, hit the like button. At
of
least
course,
hit the
bro.
like
Of
button, man.
course.
Hit the like button.
How you been, man? It's been a while, man.
Bro.
I don't think you've ever been on this channel, have you? I've been on your channel loads of times, but I don't think you've ever come
I
on
don't
it
think
yet.
guys blame
All this
Fuzzy.
time.
I don't blame Fuzzy. I don't like why have I not been on his channel, but he's been on my
I don't
channel. You
know, bro.
see the
I was
disrespect that
shocked.
he's been okay, yeah, fairs. Nah, man. I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed just usual stuff, man. Just work,
Yeah.
little man. And yeah, man, just trying to figure out this thing that we call life. I'll be honest, man. Trying to figure that
Yeah.
out at the moment. How you been though?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm slowly like getting into it now, like doing it on a regular basis.
Yeah,
A
same.
lot of people say to me like, "Why don't you like do streams with other people and all that stuff?" I said like, if I had the time, I would do it every day. You know what I mean? But I don't have the time to do that. So
Yeah,
now I'm trying to find that time to get everyone on and we could just discuss. Because I'm one of the oldest channels. People don't even know that. Like I've been here
yeah,
for a
for real,
long
for real.
time, and it's just consistency is just it's the thing that brings me down a bit. But anyway, how are you, bro? Like I haven't seen you for a while. I know you're making it big time in the YouTube now and all
Nah,
that
nah,
stuff.
nah,
Come
nah,
on,
nah,
bro. Like, come on,
nah, nah,
bro.
nah, nah, nah.
Don't
Guys,
hide
don't
that,
listen
bro.
to
Come
Fuzzy.
on, come on.
Don't listen. Don't listen to Fuzzy, man. As I said, man, I think
Mm,
I'm kind of down you're saying kind of track though, in
yeah.
terms of like it's the consistency that always kills it for everybody. I
Mm,
think when you obviously like not even when you start, but when you get like to like a good period of
yeah.
your own consistency, there's
Yeah.
always something that like I don't know. It could be something as small as you know what I'm not going to stream today because I don't know I'm busy or whatever the case may be. One day turns to two, two
Yeah.
turns to three. Now
Mm-hmm.
you're sick. Now you're
Yeah.
ill, you can't do for the
Yep.
next week Now that's now 2 weeks potentially you haven't streamed or you haven't really put anything out, and then you maybe throw a video out here. The consistency always kills it. And I think that's just where I'm kind of, or I was at before. So now I just try at least, I have like in my head, I'm always like, try and put out at least 3 or 4 videos a week, space it out if you have to. I try to do as many pre-records as I can. And I've always got like pre-records just saved in the bank in case there's moments where, yo, I can't stream today because I'm too busy, or, I'm not feeling it, well today. Let me just leave it, and then et cetera, man. But other than that, man, I've been blessed,
It's
bro.
content creating like hard, bro. Like if people want to get into it, you know what I mean? We've been around for a while, innit, us two, so we know like how it how long it takes. So there's a lot of youngsters that's trying to do it, and they're asking me about it, and I said it's hard if you got commitments, but if you haven't got commitments, I think you'll be fine. I mean, and you could do it like more or less every day if you can. You know what I mean? If you can't do something during the day, you could do it at night. But like, do you have to, like, in regards to content creating, do you have to get yourself out there, bro? Like, go to other channels, just to get yourself noticed, the big channels and that.
100%, man. 100, because I always feel like, listen, look, the reality is everyone's got like a different end goal in terms of what they're trying to do. Some people really and truly it is just for the love of, I support this team, so I just want to talk about this team, et cetera, et cetera. But then for some people, it's like, nah, I really want to, try and turn this into some passive income, so to speak, whether that's only a $5 every single month, like that's more than what you was making, before off of YouTube, talking about the one thing that you love, which is football. So I think when I see it like that, I'm always like, listen, if you, whichever goal path that you're trying to go down, bro, I always just say, just do what you possibly can. Of course, if you've got commitments, work around your commitments if you possibly can, if you're serious about it. If not, then you'll kind of, people in the chat, and again, like I said, big up the chat every time, they will know. They'll always know. Like, they know you, especially you've been around for a minute in terms of the YouTube game. So people in your chat, they'll know you. They know what you're about. They know the type of person you are, et cetera, et cetera. They know your level of consistency, probably better than you even know your level of consistency, because, they'll talk about it, and, they'll be like, right, I ain't seen you, do a video for a minute, et cetera, et cetera. But listen, for anybody trying to do YouTube, I promise you, I started in lockdown, and that was when my son was first born. I promise you. And like, the videos are gone, so you cannot see this, guy. So don't even ask me for the videos. I was doing videos with like my son, and I was holding my son, trying to rock him to sleep whilst I was doing videos. I promise you, anybody can do YouTube. It's really not you don't need any level of criteria. I even see what Fozzie's got here. You see all the and not even to take away, but you see all of like this stuff that Fozzie's got on the screen. The pictures, all that kind of stuff. Guys, don't even worry about that yet. Don't focus on that at all. When you get more comfortable and you know what you've seen, what you like, and etc., you'll get to that. Because I was the same. I was like, at first, I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that, bro. Just get comfortable, be in front of the camera, even if it is doing videos by yourself, doing your man, them, whatever the case may be. Just do that for a minute. Once you've done that, trust me, because I've been through the same stage. You'll get to a point where you're like, you know what? I want where Fozzie's got the content creating bit and he's got the picture. I want that on my stream. Okay, you know what? I'll go away on Canva or whatever people use these days, and I'll go and create that. And then once you've done that, that's your own now. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So all of these steps that Fozzie's at right now, guys, that's later on. Don't worry about that. Focus on, let me just do the videos. What do I want to talk about? What's the topic? You guys know how many times I waffle on the show with the guys. All the damn time. We end up arguing, we're going back and forth, but guess what? It's just there for, like entertainment purposes in one way. But at the same time, we're just guys chilling in our houses or wherever we chill and stuff like that. We're just having a conversation, man. And these are how conversations are going to go. So I always say, pick up that camera, start doing streams. And I promise you, you start putting yourself out there, guys, just subscribe. Listen, that like subscribing isn't like, it's not like having someone's phone number. I don't want all of these people having my phone. It's just subscribing. So anyone, like most people will just subscribe, even if they don't even want to watch it, they'll just subscribe anyway, just for the love of, all right, cool. You know what? I'll do him a solid and I'll just subscribe to the channel. Trust me, get yourself out there. Don't focus on all of these big channels. Like I know Steve is saying they're Red Men, and don't worry about that stuff. See, they're on a different path. They're doing this obviously for many different reasons, isn't it? So they're obviously at a higher stage and they work with Liverpool and etc. Trust me when I tell you, don't worry about those guys. Focus on yourself. Be real to yourself. trust me, people will follow, man, after that.
I've always said that, G. Like, if you're fake and the fakeness runs out, it will catch you up. But if you're real and be yourself throughout the actual, the entire, the content creating time you're on, nobody's gonna nobody's gonna pull you up on things. So just be yourself. That's what it is, man. And content creating is tough. Let me just put it out there, guys. I mean, I've done it like for a while now, and like it's like G said. In the beginning, you don't need all this fancy, smashy stuff we put on screen. You know what I mean? I'll do it because, I could do it and I've got time to do it. It's nothing to do with that. I have to do it. When I was first doing it, I was doing it on my phone. I mean, in my kitchen. Yeah. That's how I started. You know what I mean? You can see the levels of confidence as time goes on. You know what I mean? I was nervous a lot. I was hesitating a lot. Now, like, I could like speak normally, like as I can do with G. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, with time, you'll get better. Just give yourself time and patience. And the one thing I've always said in regards to content creating is like, just don't put the egos aside. Always, don't get involved in politics. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of politics that goes on content creating. People like you, people dislike you. You know what I mean? All that stuff. If you just keep it to yourself, mind your own business, you'll be fine. I 100% agree with that. You'll be fine. This is why I like these guys. You know what I mean? I get along with everybody. I don't have no enemies. I don't have nothing. If I call on G, he'll come on. If I call on Quasi, he'll come on. Uncle Rosie will come on. People like that. Like, if I call them, they will come on if they can. I mean, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, but yeah, listen, content creating is good. You know what I mean? But you just got to take it in the right direction anyway. So that's how I see it. Bro, I want to talk about the England game. Let's do that. Let's do that, man. Because I want to talk about your Liverpool life as well. Obviously, how you support Liverpool. But let's talk about Euros, man. Because it was an interesting Euros.
Great.
Sorry, bro. I don't like you say so.
No. I didn't know that Spain have won 4 Euros. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, they have won 4, man. I was shocked when I saw that. 4? Yeah. I never used to go up with Spain winning that many.
Yeah, exactly. But to be fair, I remember 2, obviously, the good Spain team. So I was like, okay, this is 3. I didn't know they had won 1 previously to that. That's pretty good, man. Bloody hell.
Yeah, keep up with the comments, people. You know what I mean? That's what we're here for. That's what G's here for. That's what I'm here for. Like, we're going to obviously read out your comments as well. So I appreciate that. G, so what do you think of, the final yesterday? Bloody hell, man. Listen, I was neutral in the beginning of the stream on UFT. I did say that, like, but it hurts. It's still like, because I'm from here, innit, man. I used to be an England fan because it's politics in it, Liverpool and England. That's why I've drifted away from England. But it still hurt, man, watching that yesterday. Like, there's no form. Like, what do you call it? There's no structure in place. I've noticed they thought like playing this type of football will win you tournaments. And Spain, like, this manager, who is he? Where does he come from?
Listen,
Southgate's been in the job for how many years?
No, it's actually facts. Like, it's funny, because when you think of, like, obviously prior to the tournament, of course, who the hell was De La Fuente? I'm a Spain guy, and I was like, who the hell was this manager? Found out that this guy's won the under 19s, under 21s, and now he's won. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should have been paying more attention, to Spain. But Fozzie's right, man. Like, England just have had no structure for such a long time, and even now, even if you want to say the type of football that Gareth Southgate's playing now, like it, love it, doesn't even matter. Whatever his type of football is, so let's just say it's pragmatic, it's defensive, whatever. No. Even that football, you didn't even play the right players in their rightful positions when you wanted to play that kind of football. So that was always going to kill you. And we've seen with Spain, like, Spain have been the best team in the tournament. I think everyone would agree with that. By far. Game 1, they won every single game. You beat Italy, Germany, France. They beaten all the top teams, England as well. So they weren't here to mess around. But one thing I always say with Spain, especially Spain, in the last, like, say, 20 years, they've just got this identity of playing football. Yeah. It's not always going to work, by the way. Like, as we saw in, I think, the previous, like, World Cup and other tournaments, they've been a bit stinky, not really been the same Spain, but they've got their identity. England don't have that. So England, as you know, as you say, like, if you forget even far back to whenever. If you just think about like the golden generation, if you just think about the kind of managers that England have had in, look at the way that they were playing football, no identity. It just seems like it's like a what do you call it? A bunch of individuals all trying to just play and hoping, okay, well, if I play Foden and if I play Kane and if I play Saka, if I play Rice, if I play all of these guys, surely something should happen. Now, just like I said with Liverpool, and I said it consistently last season, that kind of thing, and Liverpool ain't really the same. But in terms of if you keep playing in this one way, it's not sustainable. I don't care if it's a tournament of 7 games or a season of 38. There's certain type of things that are just not sustainable within a certain perimeter. And for England, as Fozzie said, this was never going to win. Not against Spain anyway. Maybe if you played Slovenia in the final, maybe I would give you a yeah. I'd say, okay, England, go out there, play your stinky football, you'd win. But guess what? It's Spain, man. You cannot mess around with these type of teams and expect to just be saved by another individual moment. It don't work like that, man. It doesn't work like that, bro.
You know what it is, bro? Like when I look at England, you just said it's like a bunch of individuals. It's like insanity as well. Like you keep trying the same thing and expecting a different result. You keep trying the same players and expecting a different result. You know what I mean? Like Kyle Walker. What's he still doing playing for England? Listen, I love the guy. He's got pace and all that stuff, but he's dumb. You know what I mean? There's nothing after that. Listen, I'm being realistic here. You know what I mean? You got Trent, probably one of the best right backs in the world. I'm not saying that as a Liverpool fan, but you need creativity as well as with quality, and we don't have that. And then you look at Harry Kane. He's been injured for a month, back injury or something, and then he comes into the team, stinks the Euros out, and still remains as captain, which I don't understand. You know what I mean? And then you got Phil Foden. Every time there's international football, it's like this is a different guy. Are they system players? These players, G, or what is it like? What's wrong with them international football? Because you know, in the modern football, G, I watched the football a long time, as you know. I think we give world class too easily to players nowadays. I honestly do, because you know, like in the old days, you have to be performing at both levels. You know, in order for you to be one of the best players in the world, that means club football, you know, and international football. If you don't perform in either one, you'll be like a, you know, in the middle or something like that at best. But nowadays, we just throw world class out there like it's you know, a pack of sweets. It's a joke. It's a joke. You know what I mean? But what is it with these players? Is it like this? Is it the England way? This is why they're playing the way they are, or is it, you know, it's just you know, club football interferes with international football in the, you know, in a sense of, you know, when they're in the club football, they don't really take international football too seriously, because you know the managers in club football says to you, make sure when you go to England you don't get yourself injured or something like that. You know, don't interact with Man United players. Don't interact with. Remember, we used to have that back in the day with Alex Ferguson saying that to players. Is that still around? Is it something like that, or?
I think, like, if you look at England, like England specifically, when I think about them, I would say they don't really probably have, because of social media, really and truly. So these guys are all cool. Like, they all follow each other. They're friends probably outside of it. You see it when these guys go on holiday and stuff, like he's on holiday with a guy from another team or whatever the case may be. So I think that side of it, they've changed in that way. Whether that's good or bad, I don't really know, because England are still losing, so it doesn't make a difference. But I genuinely believe, one, you're right. We put like, I don't have a lot of people in. If I was to make a world class list, I promise you that list is not big. Me and Savage did a show on that, and we were like, yeah, there isn't actually that many players that we would consider to be world class. Exactly. That's just the landscape of football. I'm not forcing it just because this. Like, I'm not trying to be the granddad. And people will be like, oh, but you can't keep going back to nostalgia. I'm not trying to do the thing where I'm saying, oh, because the players I don't think are as good as they were back then, I'm just going to throw in anybody. No. Listen, the same description for what you called world class 20 years ago is the same description you call it today. That will never ever change. It's a description, right? Whatever your obviously perception of that is, that will never change. These players, a lot of them, none of them meet that criteria. So we overrate a lot of these players. In England's case, we overrate quite a lot. The problem you're going to have is that, unfortunately, and listen, look, we all do it. We don't all watch all these other leagues and all these other players. We ain't got the time to do that. We're too focused on our own teams to worry about what's going on in Italy, you know, Spain and Germany. So when you come up against these teams, like Liverpool against Atalanta last season, I remember big ups Strasbourg Steve. He said to me, like, when we're doing like the previews and stuff like that, he convincingly said, no, Atalanta will win 100%. everyone was like, "What do you mean Atalanta will win that?" What happened? We got slapped 3-0. Why?
Yeah.
Not because we are like they're better than us. No, Liverpool on paper are a better team than Atalanta. That's a
100%.
fact. But the way that they play, some of the players that they have actually could hurt Liverpool in this moment in time. But we never saw it like that because again, we and again, like I said, we all do it. It's that kind of snobbery of thinking Premier League's the best. So my team in the Premier League, who are one of the better teams, should just kind of, do all of that kind of stuff. You come over to England, you come up against, on paper, England. I think someone said it in the chat. England have the better, have probably the best team on paper. When you think about it, you've got the Bundesliga top goal scorer. You've got the player of the year in Phil Foden. You got Jude Bellingham, just won a Champions League. You got Carl Walker, four titles in a row.
Exactly, bro.
There's so many players littered around. On paper, you're like, nah, this is the best team. But the reality is, you came up against a Fabian Ruiz, who people didn't really rate before the tournament. A Danny Olmo, who's been a bit injury prone. You're coming up against a Nico Williams, who's only had one season. A Cucurella, who's not really been, like Chelsea fans, from what they say, not been that great. Guess what? Identity will always win above everything else. And that's what England don't have. So where you've got that arrogance of just thinking, I'm Jude Bellingham, and then you stink up the tournament, I'm Harry Kane, and you have probably one of the worst performances in a tournament I've ever seen from a player. When you start doing all these kind of things, you start to look back and think, but why is it? Is Morata better than, is better than Harry Kane? Nah, probably not. I would take Harry Kane probably every day of the week, but that's for club level. For international football, I wouldn't really do that. Why? Because there's no identity. I don't know England have a mentality problem anyway since 1966.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
the last tournament that England have ever won. So since then, it's embedded in the English culture.
100%.
Losers, So
yeah, 100%. You got no doubt. You know what I mean? Like, you still got a captain that hasn't won anything, not even a Community Shield, let alone
exactly.
I mean, a trophy. It's beyond belief. And I was watching the game yesterday, and Gahey, I don't know if you see the goal. I think it was the second goal, bro. He kicked the ball long from the back. I said, England got an equalizer. All they have to do is pass the ball about and go for the second goal. What did they do? They sat back and let Spain come on to them. What would you do that? What would Spain do to you? They will destroy you. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what Spain you think it is. Nobody gave a hope in hell for Spain to win this championship in this tournament. Let's be honest. Nobody favored Spain.
I didn't. I definitely didn't.
There you go. So if they could reinvent themselves, why do England always struggle to reinvent themselves? Because we got this, like what G said, we've got this system that we stuck from 1966 till now, and we still play the same way. We don't want to, because we created football. That's what it is. We created football. We don't want to change with times. You know what I mean? If anyone's gonna change with time, football is us. Nobody else is gonna change it. That's the mentality we go in with, and this is why we're never gonna win championships. Even when you make it to finals, that's 2 finals now you lost. You know what I mean? Like, it shows there's something not right with this team. And then if you look at the team, like, there's no team ethic. If you haven't got no team ethic, you're not going to win tournaments. You have to go all as one. You have to battle together. You have to, score together. You have to do things, as a team. And I've never seen that with England. This is how, like you just said about Liverpool, this is how we lost our identity in regards to winning with Klopp. Yeah. We used to be one. We used to go, get the ball back, and a few seconds we score. And we don't concede a lot of chances either. As soon as we lost that identity, Liverpool became what we saw last season, like a weak team that everybody can get at, score in the first minute. Like, every team can read us basically. In the first few minutes, you score a goal, you've got a chance of winning, in that game. So this is what I'm saying. You need an identity in place that could make you, that can last for a long time, and you need to reinvent yourself each time new players come in. But England don't do that. We're still stuck, in the past. Hence why we're never going to win a tournament for the national team. In my opinion, anyway. I don't know about other people, but that's how I see it.
Listen, I already said it, man. I like England ain't winning nothing for in my opinion, for a very, very long time. One thing I will say though is that it's like we're talking about identities and stuff like that. Germany they had their identity, which is what made them so successful, in recent times and stuff like that. Even with when you looked at like when Germany won like the under 21s with like Özil and Khedira and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those players then came up into the first team, and then the same identity gets filtered through and stuff like that, right? Spain, of course, we know what they're about. France win the under 21s, they then come up to the first team, those players, and then they go and they've got their identity. It only seems to be England who don't really have that, and I think the England's problem, especially in this tournament, but what has been the issue for time for me has been your identity. What's the one thing that we realized in this tournament? In the knockout rounds anyway, every time England went behind, they amped it up a bit. Why? Passion. That grit, that determination, long balls, direct football, that is England's identity. But for some reason, Sven-Göran Eriksson, Fabio Capello, Roy Hodgson, now Gareth Southgate, you're trying to play a way of football because you've seen, as you're mentioning there about reinventing, you've seen Spain play this brilliant football, possession-based football. You're seeing Germany playing this gegenpress, crazy kind of football. You're seeing France playing this kind of attacking, or obviously when they won the World Cup, this attacking kind of football littered with like individual quality that was just out of this world at that moment in time, right? Like Mbappe, Pogba, Kante, and people of that kind of ilk. England, your identity is literally very basic, but why don't you try to make that your why don't try to make that the best thing that you can possibly do? Stop trying to play this, as Fozzie said, you score, let's sit back, let's do this. No, that's not your game. That's never that it can never be me playing football for grassroots. You think even if we're like 1-1 or whatever the score is, you think the manager telling us, let's just sit back and just soak up pressure and pass the ball about and play tiki-taka? No, because he wasn't brought up like that. It was never brought up like that. It was brought up to play 4-4-2, two central midfielders, your two wide players, whatever you want to call them nowadays, and your two strikers, big man, small man. The small man, he's going to run in behind, whoever that person equivalent is. The big man, he's going to hold up play and bring others into the game. The wingers are going to do their job. That's 4 players at the top, and then your 2 central midfielders who are like box to box. England need to go back to that. This 4-2-3-1, and now England want to start playing 3 at the back. And no, that has never ever been your game. I'm not saying it didn't. By the way, people for they get angry at me. I'm not saying that England didn't improve with their level of performances in terms of changing that formation, but it improved to a level where you were just like, you were absolutely, garbage before. You've now just moved up to you're just rubbish now, but it's better. Rubbish is better than the garbage that you were, previously. Yeah. So is it even really that much of a difference? That has been England's problem. They're not playing to their own identity. I promise you, Fozzie, if England actually said, even if let's say Harry Kane, he's been rubbish, right? Even if you said, I'm going to play Harry Kane and Ollie Watkins up top. Even if you just said that, I'm going to have 2 wide players. Forget this. Let me play Foden in the middle and he's going to start roaming. This isn't Manchester City. It's not Pep Guardiola who's managing the team, Like, let Pep Guardiola, where he's got Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and all of these excellent...
You hit the nail on the head.
You can't do that over here, which is fine. You don't have to do that. I don't see Slovenia. I don't see Serbia. You see these type of teams when I'm watching them. That was one thing I noticed when I'm watching these teams on paper. They have inferior players, of course they do, because England do actually have good players individually. But when you watch these kind of teams, when I watch all the I'm Ghanaian, so when I watch Ghana and stuff like that, when I'm watching them, it's not about I need to play this fancy football. Listen, if we're only good at we can just kick it and run, then let's just play that football. Exactly. Because we can make that football excellent and we can be the best at that. And when you're the best at what you do, I promise you'll start seeing results because you'll stop trying to be just like everybody else. Exactly. Stop trying to be like a Spain, and because you got Foden and Bellingham who kind of play that kind of football, I want to start. No, forget that. We don't need that anymore, man. Like, just go back to basics. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing in like academies and even at grassroots level at some points is that everyone's talking about I want to play out from the back. What with Pickford? Yeah, long day. Forget about it. Let's just throw it into the bin now. Let's just throw it in the bin now. Because you want to start playing, with the ball at the back with Pickford. Doesn't even make any sense, man. And this will always be England's problem. I promise you, Fozzie, till God forbid, but till that day I pass away, I can just see this happening for ages and ages and ages until England just go back to basics, go back to what you're good at, make that your game, and I promise you'll see results, man.
Football is a simple game, complicated by managers, isn't it? That's what it is, guys. That's what we're talking about here. Like G said, he's 100% correct. Play to the strength of the players that you got. Don't try to copy other managers who, can get, the best out of players in a system that fits them well. You know what I mean? That's the difference between, England and that stuff. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I can't really see, I can't see any improvement, and they offer him an extra 2-year contract. Expect a long day, man.
Is that what they're offering?
Yeah, that's what the guy one of the guys just said it on the chat. If they're doing that, you know what? Just call it a day. Just call it a day, man. 2 years? Come on, man. That's World Cup.
But what I will say to that though, and then listen, I don't want him to stay. If he goes, who would you put in as manager though?
Mate, it's a tough one because like there ain't no managers out there that can manage this team. Because like you made a good point. Like there's Ericsson, there's Capello, managers that have their own identity. If you know them, like you know how good they were as managers. In club football, they came into England and played the same way. You know what I mean? And the Roy Hodgson came in same way. Southgate came in same way. So there's what's going to change in a new manager. You're right. What's going to be different to what we're seeing, because for some reason these managers, they get the highest paycheck in world football, but you're always going to get the same results. So yeah, it's
what one thing I always think about as well is like obviously we talk about England, they've got good players and stuff like that. I would love to see, I don't care who the manager, whether it's Southgate or anybody, what I would love to see is that, which we saw a little bit from Gareth Southgate, he substituted, Harry Kane, he's not playing well, 60 minutes.
What is with that, G? Like, why do they always pick the same players, bro? Like, I don't really understand. I'm shocked when I see that.
Is that?
But you know what I mean? You never won the previous tournaments with them. Why are you bringing them again in the next tournament when you could get youth, energetic, hungry players? Do you get what I'm saying? Like Spain did. Like, look at the Spanish team. They're all young. Yeah,
exactly.
They're all freaking young.
Yeah, but even when you look at it, it's like, we're not like sorry, by the way, sorry any Serbian fans. I'm just using you because you're the first thing that pops into my head for some weird reason. But you're not Serbia, you're not Slovenia, you're not Slovakia, you're not, all of these other kind of teams where you don't have the depth of players in your squad where we can just say, okay, Harry Kane, like, what other team can you think of that I can say, okay, Harry Kane can come off, but Ollie Watkins, who scored however many goals last season, can come into play? Or you know what, we'll go for our third choice, and that's Ivan Toney. Like, how many teams realistically can say, I can bring on Gordon, or I can bring on Eze, I can bring on Mainu,
not many, bro.
Alexander-Arnold. No, they can't do that. But England, for some weird reason, you play as if you've only got 11 players and the rest are crap. You can play someone else, You don't have to play Harry Kane all the time. You don't have to play Jude Bellingham or Foden. If they're stinking it up, get them off the pitch and play someone else. As Fozzie said, play the younger players if you have to. We keep talking about, we've got all of these great young players. Play them then. Let me see what they can do. It always baffled me thinking, but England have got so many other players, but you don't play them. So then when the A team isn't working, surely you go to other players to think. It's not like you have no one else. You look at our bench yesterday. If you actually thought about it, England probably had more game changers on the bench than Spain did. Spain, obviously Zubamendi, I know he came on and did well, but if you looked at their bench, it wasn't really game changers on.
I don't even know who they were. Some players were coming on and I said, who the hell are these players?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And this is the point. Cole Palmer, what happens? Comes on, he scores a brilliant goal. England look like they're getting back into the game. England have that, but for some reason, you want to keep playing these same players. Saka not really doing anything in the game. I like Saka, but he wasn't really doing anything in the game. But
what is wrong with? Let me ask you this question, G. Listen, I play football. I've trained players. I know everything. Is it me or is Saka stiff when he's running with the ball? I'm like, the guy's got no loose body movement, bro. What is that? It's like he's never played football before. Like when I'm looking at him, it's like it's always like this. Like, what is that? When I play football, I'm loose. You know what I mean? I'm loose. I could do step overs. But him, I'm looking at him, bro. It's like I already know what he's gonna do next. If I was a player, if I was playing against him, I don't want to criticize him, but do you know what I'm talking about?
No. We've been joking about this quite a lot recently, like me and the guys. Yeah, you know what he is? He's like, and listen, Saka, I think he's a good player, by the way.
He's brilliant, but come on,
put
man.
That disclaimer out there. he's a good player, and he's probably on the way to becoming a great player potentially.
Yeah.
He is what you would call he's a part of a system, and he's been part of a system. And when I mean system, not tactically or anything like that, because he's come through the academy. I know he used to play grassroots football for a little bit, but he hasn't really played it for that long. He seems, and I don't know Saka personally, he seems like a guy who never really played like street football enough.
Yes.
So because he never really played it enough, like you look at Phil Foden, he's loose. Like, I mean, he slaloms through the pitch at times and stuff like that. England don't have, like, we have a lot of players in the academy like that. But when it comes to someone like Saka, I'm not saying he did not play grassroots football, but grassroots football and playing street football is kind of two different things. It almost seemed like Saka never really played that much street football, was always into, I went grassroots straight to the academy. Now I'm in the academy. The academy are going to build,
you know, like people
way.
don't know street football. It helps you out a lot in the longer term. Because when I was a kid, I used to play five side a lot, like the street football, you know, in the cages and that stuff. Yeah, it teaches you a lot. You think it doesn't, but it does teach you a lot. I know that I don't see a lot of kids doing that nowadays. I don't really see a lot of football pitches in the streets getting filled with kids playing. But when we used to play, it was the best thing, like, for us to progress into, you know, the different levels of football. Street football teaches you a lot. Look at the greatest players that ever lived, like Ronaldo's, Ronaldinho's, you know, Neymar's, you know, Coutinho's, you know, even Romario. All these players actually play street football.
Look at Rooney, like street footballers. Like they for me, you develop in a different way. Of course,
Maradona as well. Don't forget Maradona. You can see black and white videos of Maradona doing that. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, obviously, listen, look, you go to an academy, ultimately that's your goal, isn't it? You want to go to the academy to play for the first team eventually. Yeah. And when you do go to the academies, one thing obviously is that they'll mold you in, it's like they refine you. Like, and obviously some people gets refined too much. That's what I feel like Saka is. He's been in the academy for so long, and he's been built into this kind of
you're right.
Like
I'm thinking
a machine, you know, type of person. So now when you watch him, as you said, he just, everything about you just stiff. Listen, you're good. You're actually good at what you do, but it's just stiff. It just doesn't feel natural.
It's like when Darwin Núñez goes on the wing and he does this body movement, and you think to yourself, "What the hell are you doing, bro?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's not a natural footballer. That's not a natural footballer. That is rubbish.
You actually got me thinking. Yeah, that's actually true. That's actually true.
You look at Cucurella. Cucurella, sorry. What Gary Neville said about him, you know what I mean? Gary Neville just shut his mouth. He need to shut his mouth, bro. Like,
he's contradicted himself quite a lot in this tournament.
Who created the winner? Who created the winning goal, bro? There you go.
And he was the best left back, by the way, in the whole tournament. He was the best.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he was that good, but I'm really, really shocked. You know what I mean? I don't rate him that much.
You know, I don't rate him that much either. But you know
why? Still don't.
Yeah, I still don't. But guess what? When you're part of a system and an identity, you just walk into that team.
Yes.
And I feel like he's almost like the best example, obviously to us Premier League fans. He's like the best example of, it doesn't necessarily, obviously he's of clearly a good enough level to play professional football for Chelsea, right? So I'm not trying to say he's just a bum playing for a League 2 team. But he's of that kind of level where he wasn't really performing too much, you know, last season. You know, Chelsea fans themselves will tell you they were criticizing him themselves, you know, I want him out of the team, etc. When you walk into now the Spain team, why all of a sudden this guy is the best, you know, the best fullback in the tournament? How does that happen? You walked into an identity, and the identity allows for any player of any quality really to just kind of
the most important thing I could add to that is fearless as well. They don't fear anything. You know, look, England, like when you go into pitch, you're always scared if you make a wrong pass, because you know off the pitch stuff, you're gonna get attacked. You know, racially, you know, even if you're the same skin color, everything, you're gonna get attacked. That's how it is. So in Spain, they support their players through everything, from youth level all the way to the senior team, and this is what we need to work on as well, people. Like, it's a lot of stuff to work on in England, and a lot of changes you have to make as well. Like LFC Aaron says, hit the button. Sorry, hit the like button, please, everyone. Big up Aaron as always. Do you think like Kane should be gone now? Like now his time is done? Because you know, like, he's at the age now. Like, we should look for young players.
13, he's 30. Yeah. The problem England have with someone like Kane, because I heard someone say, maybe get Kane out for the next tournament and play Ollie Watkins. The problem is Ollie Watkins is going to be 32. He's going to be 30 as well, not 32. He's going to be 30 as well, I think, by the time of the next tournament, if I'm not mistaken. So England ain't blessed with like, you know, young players, so to speak, up front anyway, in the striker department. They're not really blessed. Yeah, Ollie Watkins is 28 right now. So he's going to be 30 by the time of the next tournament. They're not blessed with strikers. So their two strikers that they're thinking of will be 32 and 30. So really, we're not really blessed with to say, where's that 23-year-old? Where's that guy when by the time he turns 25, he's the next one up? Maybe there's someone sitting in an academy or sitting in for one of these teams who's just going to blow up in these next 2 seasons. I don't know. At the moment, I've not seen any striker who's even remotely close, considering you had to put in, and I don't disrespect him because I like him, but Ivan Toney was your third choice. There is no other strikers out there for England anyway. That's our problem. So really, I would just say, bring him if he's still scoring goals for Bayern Munich. Bring him, but maybe he's not the main striker anymore. Maybe it will be Ollie Watkins by that point, and then just pray that by the time of the 2028 tournament, you've got another striker already, and that's in what, 4 years. Maybe you've got another striker by then who can, you know, come in and for the next Euros and then go from there. At the moment, honestly, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's like Steve is saying, like, should change to 4-4-1-1 and bring on Trent Alexander, was it Wharton, Palmer, Watkins? You know, like, that's what I would have done. I guess G was asking the same question. Where's the substitutions? You brought on Palmer, you brought on Watkins. Where's the next substitutions? You need balls in the box. I mean, that's what Trent does. I know I'm a Liverpool fan, but I know what Trent can bring. You know what I mean? And taking that away from the right side. To be honest, I haven't seen a lot of crosses in the box, mate. I've got to be real. Like, since this tournament, I haven't. Apart from the goal overhead kick Bellingham scored, I didn't see that many crosses from England. To be fair, so if you're gonna play about Kyle Walker, there's no crosses coming in. Just accept it for what it is. And same with the Luke Shaw. Like, I was shocked. He played, like, Trippier's been playing all along this tournament, and all of a sudden you bring in like Shaw. Like, make up your mind, bro.
Even. Because I know Liverpool fans have been doing the jokes and stuff about Trent, and if Trent.
What do you think of Trent, bro? Like this is a meaty England team, and he's not getting into it. Like, what does that make you think? Like, is it systematic thing, or is it him?
Obviously he's good. He's a good player. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I can't. It's not so much about him. The problem you got with a Trent is that in this team, and just based on what we've seen, I don't see a place for him personally. And I know people say, oh, but you should be trying to get, yes, in an ideal world, you would try to get him in the team to do what he does. Yeah. But in Gareth Southgate's team, he doesn't fit anywhere because he doesn't want his fullbacks doing what Trent does at fullback, which is obviously recently likes to invert, comes into midfield, starts doing all of this stuff. He doesn't want that from that fullback. On top of that, he doesn't need the creativity to come from his fullbacks as well. So that straight away, we've negated everything that Trent is kind of about, invert and creating. We don't need that. Gareth Southgate, I'm not saying I don't need it. I'm saying Gareth Southgate doesn't need that. So when we were doing all the stuff about Trent, like, I know it was all jokes and banter. I was like, but Trent wouldn't have done anything different. Like, Trent wouldn't have made this team any better, not because he isn't good. It's because the role that he's asking of Kyle Walker or whoever's playing at fullback, Trent couldn't do that. That's not Trent's game. Trent's game is not bombing up that right wing. And, like he used to when he was younger, like when he used to. And it's not even that. There was a moment where Nico Williams had the ball and he burst forward, and Kyle Walker he'd run up to support play, sack it in and play him in. They lose the ball. He sprinted back. I promise you, in all the month of Sundays, Trent will never make that.
Oh, hell no.
Trent's not that type of player. You need a Kyle Walker in that type of situation. So when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, Trent himself, and it'll be interesting to see what Liverpool do. Trent himself, you need to figure out what is he good at. If what he's good at, you need that in your team, Trent is the best at that. Best passer, can do all of that kind of stuff. If you don't require that specific thing in your team, I promise you, having Trent in is just pointless, because we saw midfield. It's not even that he played badly. It was just like he didn't do anything. Like,
no, he was just walking. He was just walking. Like, looking up like
you're just there. You're playing nice little cute passes, but I'm like, I mean, maybe
where's the work ethic? I mean, this is what I say about Trent as well.
It's just weird. It's just weird.
What I keep telling people about Trent, they're asking him to play in midfield for Liverpool. You know what Liverpool needs to stop doing? This nostalgia thing, like looking back at Gerrard's and all this stuff. He's never going to be Gerrard, man. Just give up. He's never going to be Gerrard. Gerrard is a one-off. Gerrard is a workhorse. Trent is not workhorse. He won't run back for like G said on the month for Sundays. He won't be aggressive like you want him to be like Gerrard. Just accept him for what he is, which is a right back, and he needs to get back to being a right back that he was when he was younger. He needs to be hungry again. I think the hunger is gone, bro, because he's won all these trophies. I think Trent's hunger is gone. Because if international football and club football is looking the same for him, then there's something wrong here. Then it's got to be the hunger, G. I think so. I know you probably disagree with me. I'm looking at him like I watched him when he was younger. When he makes a mistake one game, he corrected it in the next game. Remember, like when Sane ripped him apart for Man City in one game, and then next game he took Sane out every opportunity. That's what I'm saying. That is maybe he's won too many trophies, and the mentality, or maybe he stayed too long in the club. I don't know. Something is just not there for me, bro. And moving him in midfield doesn't fill me with any confidence because I don't see aggression side. I don't see him, changing games from there either. He needs to be more deeper than what he is, which is the right back position, in my opinion. Just reinvent yourself as a right back. Be more defensive, solid in defense or something like that. Let the creative side, be part of Soboslai and McAllister and players like that instead of you doing it. Now, like you could concentrate being a good defender or something like that. Maybe it's too late. I don't know, G. But when I look at Trent, yes, in midfield, nah. Like everybody's looking for Gerrard, bro. It's not Gerrard, man.
Nah, so the midfield thing, I 100% agree with you. I've said this 100 times. I don't think he's a midfielder, and I think just keep him at right back doing what he used to do. That's where you'll get the best out of Trent Alexander-Arnold. This thing about people always talk about like a player evolving, that's a myth. You know what I mean? Like it's always a myth because a player doesn't need to evolve if they're already elite at one thing. If they don't need to do that, it's different. If like I need Trent to play midfield because of whatever. We don't have any midfielders, so I need him to evolve into this like Gerrard-esque midfielder. Fair enough, then that's what you need to do. You don't need that. Do you get me? This isn't, the system doesn't even require him to actually be that kind of player. Yeah. So I'm always baffled. So I think with Trent though, I do think it's more about mentality. I won't even say, because listen, I don't think any player would be like, listen, if they are, then I'm very shocked. But I think he cares about, obviously he wants to win more trophies and stuff like that. So I'll give him all of that. I just think it's more mentality with him. And what I mean by that is forget that, at times he looks lethargic, even forget all of that, because that might just be just whatever. I think it's just more about he wants to do something and I don't think he's being allowed to do it. So it's almost like battling with yourself at this point now, where it's, and obviously if you're battling with yourself, people, obviously you play football, we see you every week, we'll notice these kind of small things in certain instances, in terms of, not getting back or not defending the back post against Everton properly or getting beat in certain situations and all these kind of little things. I feel like they play a part in him. His mentality at the moment for me is not at the level it should be. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but there was a difference in mentality when Liverpool obviously winning things and etc. And it seemed like he was like, yes, this is my role in the team. Yeah. I'm a young player. He's still young, but like I'm a young player. This is what I want to do. I almost feel like now he's got to a point where it's like, I want to do this now. Like I feel like I should be doing this now, and I don't really want to do the other thing. So, forget about it. I'm not going to try as hard as I was trying before. I'm not going to do all of the things I was doing before because that's not really what I want to do.
He's only 20. What is he? 25. He's not even an old player. That's what I'm saying, mate.
Yeah, I think so. He's been around for so long. We think he's. I mean, he's older than he probably is, but. Listen, I think he's at a crossroads, and it'll be interesting to see what Slot does with him next season. All I'm saying is just don't put him in midfield. Please.
We'll talk about Slot in a minute. Slot. McAllister won another trophy yesterday, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's collecting the international trophies, so the club is next. I love him as a player, bro. I love him as a player, man. We've always wanted players like this, talented midfielders that can keep the ball better, that can, have that eye of a needle pass and, change our midfield. And, McAllister last season, I thought he was phenomenal, bro. Best player now of the season, in my opinion. You know what I mean? But yeah, congratulations to him. Messi collecting another trophy, you know what I mean?
Come on.
He got injured though. Where do you rank Messi, bro? Where do you rank him as a player?
I don't need to conversate about it. Messi's the greatest player I've ever seen touch a football in my life. And obviously, I didn't see the Maradonas. That kind of stuff like. So I know some people probably say that, but for me,
I would.
When I think about players, and I'll say I started watching football in 1996, like really
young bastard.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of like my
10 years before,
education.
you know, me 10
You see
years
what?
before.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. That and 10 years is a big enough gap to remember. You would have seen the John Barneses and people of that
Yeah.
kind of ilk. So when I hear Liverpool fans talk about these guys, I'm like, okay, I get it. But when we talk about Messi, I've never ever in my internet, and there's no player close. I've never watched a player before, and I've just said, forget the goals, forget the assists, forget his stats record, whatever they are, because that is just whatever it is. Have you ever watched a game and just looked at a player and just said,
Mm.
how did you do that?
Yeah,
And
I've
this
seen
isn't just
many.
one-offs. This isn't
Yeah.
one-offs. This isn't like, oh, remember when no, I could give you a list, like a massive list of games where I've just watched Messi and just thought, how did he do that? Like, how did he score that goal? Ronaldinho would probably be like another player like that, but he don't have the longevity. But he's another player I think of when I
Yeah.
think, how did you do this trick or this skill?
You,
But you see, with
you know,
Messi, there's always an end product with it.
yeah, you know, with the current footballers, bro, like, if you haven't watched the previous football, like, continuously, like I've always said, if you watch my streams, I always go back and I tell you guys, I've had cassettes of players, cassettes, like I watched. If you guys don't know, it's a videotape, like YouTube. Yeah,
And you can
it's
wind
different
it.
now. It's different now. Yeah, I collected them. I collected Maradona. I collected Pele. I collected Garincha. I collected Revellino. There's so many players that I just watch and see what they could do. You know, the first flip flop. Flip flap they call it. You know, that one. It wasn't even recent. Did people actually know it was Revellino that actually did it first? If you go back on YouTube, check it out. Check out the 70s. Revellino was doing the flip flaps. What do you call it? Flip flap. Back then, back then. People think like all this stuff people do now, like it's been created recently. No, man, 70s.
It's true though. But when I think about it, things are just recycled. It's like fashion. You know, people have been wearing the same clothes that people probably wore like 30 years ago. It just comes back into fashion. Always.
Yeah, 100%.
Cycle of life.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you with Messi, but Messi wasn't facing Thuram. He wasn't facing Maldinis. He wasn't facing Bereses. He wasn't facing Bagabao. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to give you. He's facing, defenders that wouldn't make it in those times. He's playing pitches. There wasn't, those times they were playing in mud. You know what I mean? And players were doing.
Messi, so listen,
I love Messi. Listen, I'm a football fan. I watched Messi from the beginning. I watched Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, from the beginning. You know what I mean? I watched John Barnes when he came to Liverpool, and I watched some bits of Watford when I was younger. But I watched players from a long, long time, so I know what Messi's all about. You know what I mean? But would he survive in those times when those defenders were intentionally trying to break your leg like they did with Maradona when he's playing for Barcelona? I don't know. That's what you got to look at when I look at players. I think you can't listen. Modern day football is not contact. There's no contact. Let's just be honest there.
True.
You touch a player with one finger is a foul nowadays. But those days, players will come after your leg and break it intentionally. That's how different the football was back then. That's why I always say, don't ever disrespect those old players, because what they did is out of this world. And
that's what I say. Like in my time, obviously, I wish I was able to have seen like a Maradona. Because the way that people talk about Maradona is like they're like, bro, he's like a Messi, but just he was doing it, as you said, in a period of time where these people are genuinely breaking your leg, like trying to foul you.
They broke it in half. They broke his leg in half. Yeah, exactly. They broke his leg in half, and people don't know that.
And Messi don't really, obviously not played in that kind of era. But listen, look, I think it all comes down to your own era in terms of like, for example, 100%. My son, who's young now, when he in 15 years time, as an example, he's going to be talking about the Jude Bellinghams and the Viniciuses, and I'm going to be like, really? What? Like, and when I'm telling him about you didn't see this guy called Lionel Messi, he's gonna look at me and think, nah, man, Lionel Messi wasn't as good as Vinicius. And I'm gonna say, listen, man, you don't even know what you're talking about, because Messi would run rings around these guys. And I think it is just like, the kind of errors. But for me, he's the greatest footballer I have ever.
Listen, I can't argue against that.
It's so mad.
I can't argue against that. I mean, my greatest player I've ever seen is Ronaldo R9. If people seen R9,
I wish I didn't see. I wish I saw early R9. I watched videos, obviously, but I wish I was alive when R9. To be fair, I was alive, but I wish I was more. I was a bit older when R9
to understand.
because I caught him like, let's say the real R9 that I caught was maybe from 2002 onwards. By then, he was kind of like
The
on
knees are
his
gone.
way.
The
Yeah,
knees,
they're gone. Even though he was phenomenal, like for a bit of that time.
Listen,
I never really got to see the
let me
PSV,
just put it out
Barcelona,
there.
or
I might be, controversial as I always am. Let me just put it out there. You don't drug a player in a World Cup final if he ain't that good. I mean, 98 World Cup. People saying, he had a fit. He never had a fit in his life, and all of a sudden he's having a fit in a World Cup final. Come on, man. Come on. And coming from a hospital bed to come and play in the final, and you don't feel right.
Yeah, I watched that
come
documentary.
On, man.
That's one of the best documentaries, football documentaries I've ever seen.
Mate, if you see the Lilian Thuram, Marcel Desailly, Lisa Razou, LeBouf, if you see them talking about Ronaldo, these are the greatest defenders probably that ever lived. You know what I mean? In football, I'm talking about one guy, not two, not three, one guy. Then you know how great that guy is. I've never seen Messi. People talk about him like that, especially great defenders. I don't, in that current era, you can't even name five. Name me five world-class defenders. G. There you go.
In today's football.
There you go.
In today's football, I couldn't name you five.
There you go, bro. Kopish is the realist channel alongside 404. Come on, G is the realist as well, man. I like his controversial side of G. You know what I mean? Well,
I've calmed down a bit. I've calmed down. Like I'm not maybe because the season is finished now, so there's not much to be controversial. You wait when the season starts again, guys. I'm gonna be back.
Be back to normal, man. That's how I like you, man. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, G, I want to talk about Liverpool, like how you come about Liverpool, how you supported them. I want to ask people these questions because I don't think there's enough that goes around, because you guys waste a lot of time doing this content creating, and I don't think people ask you these questions. So I want to start doing that for you guys, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, of course, man, of course.
Yeah. All right, bro. Let's do this. Let's do this. So, how did you come about Liverpool, mate? How long have you been supporting the club, man?
Michael Owen debut since that season.
Wow.
When he scored that. So
I guess Wimbledon, you talking about?
Yeah.
When Stan Collymore was up front. I watched that game live, actually. Yeah.
I watched that. That was I would say in terms of supporting Liverpool, in terms of football itself.
Did you ever play at any level or?
Yeah, so prior to that, I was already playing football anyway. One, I was playing for the school, and I think I was just playing for like a local team where I used to live. So, and it was so funny because Liverpool weren't even the first team that I actually liked. It was Arsenal, to be fair. So, but again, I think that was just more about cultural. Arsenal had a lot of black players, in their team, so it was easy for me to kind of resonate with that kind of, that kind of team. But my mum was always a Liverpool fan. So she, because she loved John Barnes, again, someone she could resonate with, during her time, watching football. And she was a glory hunter. She'll tell you she was a glory hunter.
Same as my dad and my uncles, to be fair, yeah.
But back in that time, being a glory hunter wasn't even seen as a bad thing. It's only seen as a bad thing now when you're a glory hunter. But back then, it wasn't like that. Liverpool were the best team. They won European Cups, league title after league title. Consistently, so she just chose them as the team. She said, well, this team's always good. Let me just support them. So when obviously I was born in 91, from then, from that age of like 5 or 6, I was just always playing football. And then that's when I'd say, Owen made his debut. And I don't know why. I actually can't remember why, because I remember watching Arsenal prior to that because my cousin, who's older than me, he supported Arsenal. So obviously back then when I was young, I'm the youngest one. So I don't get to watch what I want to watch. These guys are watching what they want to watch on TV. So I'm just sitting there watching Arsenal versus, I don't even know who that. So in the end, I just started to understand like, oh, okay, this is this and that's that, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, for some weird reason, my mum just mentioned there's this kid, like she's like, oh, this kid just scored for Liverpool. He's only 18. Obviously, I wanted to be a footballer. So she was like, oh, you can be like this kid, like blah, blah, blah. Honestly, from that moment on, I just followed Michael Owen. I was just like, he is my guy. He's my favorite Liverpool player, that even till now. And he was just someone I always just watch. And I was like, I want to be like this guy. I want to be, I want to do what he kind of does. I want to be able to score the goals that he's scoring. And then from there, Liverpool just became a team that I said, well, if he plays for this team, then, I'll just stick with it. You know what I mean?
No, listen. I remember when he made his debut. I was actually watching the game live because we was challenging for the title that time as well, and he just came on the scene. I think I know Collingwood was that. I think Fowler was injured. I'm sure it was Fowler that was injured, and then he came on and just changed the game for us. I don't think we won that game. I think we drew that game as well, as I remember. I think it was a draw.
We drew a loss.
Yeah, at the end of the season. Yeah, we was challenging for the title. I think I got the kit. Let me see that kit. Hang on.
No, that I like that kit as well. I like that kit that he played in. I keep saying
it was this one, wasn't it? It was this one.
Yes. I keep saying I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep saying I need to buy that kit, man. That's one of my favorite Liverpool kits.
Yeah, it was that kit. He came on at Selhurst Park. This is what Wimbledon used to play back in the day with Crystal Palace. Who let them rent, innit? Because Wimbledon didn't have a pitch, so which they have now. They've got two different teams. I don't know what's going on, but he came on and just changed the game for Liverpool. Used his little. Well, he was a little guy, but he was pacey. He had a lot of pace. And not only that, I remember when he first came on the scene, like what coaches used to tell us, don't run too much. Remember, he was just running, like full of energy. I remember like Celtic in the UEFA Cup when McManaman scored that goal. Remember Owen just running the whole pitch of Celtic, chasing people down and all that stuff. He calmed down as years go by. Yeah, when McManaman just took the ball from our own half all the way to the Celtic half and hit it with his left foot and hit the post and went in. I still remember that because it's like
I forgot about facing off against Celtic. Like it's so mad. Like when you're talking about it, like there's certain things that just come back into your psyche, into your memory now. But
great player. But like, what do you think in regards to Owen and Liverpool fans? They don't like him playing for Man United, and they lost hope in him after that.
Listen, I 100% understand why Liverpool fans would hate him. I get it. I totally get it. You move to your rivals, etc., etc. Like I said, he's my favorite player. I didn't care that he moved to Manchester. In fact, I was actually somewhat happy for him for moving because I was like, you got to understand, right? He's been at Liverpool and not done anything, like league-wise anyway. And Liverpool weren't a good team like that, even when he was there. Like, we weren't Arsenal, we weren't Manchester United, we weren't a serious team at that point. It was always like we were like the next team after that, like potentially, fighting with the Chelseas, Leeds Uniteds, and people of that kind of ilk. So we weren't serious. So when he then left to go Real Madrid, I was so happy. I was like, oh my days, like he's going to like the best team in the world. He's going with the Galactico. He's playing with Ronaldo, Zidane, like he's Raul, like he's playing with some amazing players. And I just wanted him to do well for his own career. What people forget is that he wanted to come back to Liverpool. That's what people don't understand. They think that he wanted to come back to Liverpool. On the phone. Can't remember who he was talking to at the time. I think it was Jamie Carragher. And they were trying to get him back to Liverpool. Do you think I can come back, etc., etc.? Unfortunately, Liverpool didn't want to do that for whatever reason. Didn't want to pay the money. That's on Liverpool. That's not on my. If a player is saying I want to join your football club and you say no, what more can I do? And guess what? When you've then got, and I think he went to another team, Newcastle, and then he went to Manchester United. Yeah. But even when he left Newcastle, he still wanted to join Liverpool. Liverpool still said no. So your options are like, okay, I can either go down like a level and stuff like that, or the best manager in this entire league has said, you know what, we can use you. Of course, I'm gonna go. And that was the bit that I always said, how can you? Like, I get the rivalry thing, and it's totally understandable. But one, he never moved directly from Liverpool to Manchester United. He went to about 3 different teams prior to that. On top of that, so you want this guy to just be a sad like player just because he doesn't play for your team? I'm not really. I don't care. Once a player leaves my football club, I could not care less where you play. You can go play for Manchester City for all I care. That's not my business, because ultimately I get what you're trying to do. He wanted to win a league title, and Michael Owen could not have left football without at least one league title. And I'm so happy that he got it. I'm annoyed it's at Manchester United, but I'm super happy he got one. On top of a Ballon d'Or, this is one of the best strikers I've ever seen, man. Trust me. Like he's
the only Liverpool. People don't know he's the only Liverpool player that actually won a Ballon d'Or at Liverpool.
At Liverpool. Hold on, where did Kevin Keegan win? No, did he win it?
Hamburg. He won it twice.
Hamburg.
I met Kevin Keegan. What a nice guy.
He seems like you see.
He's my dad's and my uncle's. That's how they supported Liverpool, because of him. My people actually came to this country a long time ago. People don't know that. Like, Somali people have been here a long time ago. Like, one of the first black people that actually been in this country. So, and they followed Liverpool back then, and this is how I became a Liverpool fan, because unfortunately I'm stuck with it, so I can't really
Yeah, I know. It can't
get
be
out
changed.
of it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you can't call me glory hunter if I've been taught to support Liverpool. You know what I mean? By people that actually support the club. Yeah, he was a lovely guy, mate. He spoke to me, and it was very nice. I thought it was just taking a picture and sitting down and listening to him talk about his career. No, taking a picture and talking to him. He just had a great conversation, and he said that he regrets, the way he left Liverpool. I wish like Liverpool fans forgive him, because I just asked him questions, innit? Why are Liverpool fans not like drawn to you anymore like they used? Because he's the player of the '70s. It's not Kenny Douglas. Actually, it's Kevin Keegan who's the player of the '70s. So if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't win our first European Cup. I mean, so he done a lot of stuff for Liverpool Football Club that people don't know about. He earned that penalty, you know what I mean, that got us won us that first European Cup as well. So yeah, he was a lovely guy, bro. Lovely guy, lovely to chat to. You forget he's an England manager as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's actually bad.
yeah,
He's done quite a lot. I think people of like say my era will only remember him for the interview that he did, where he said we would love it. We would love it if we beat them. Yeah, you know what I mean? If we win it. But listen, look, great players. And I think that's where Owen for me was just that guy. Like, that's why I'm never like, I don't get angry. I never got angry at Coutinho. I never got angry at Suarez, Sterling, because ultimately you have to start understanding why people make decisions. It's different if like there's real bad blood as to why you're doing something, then fair enough. But when it's not really like that, and it's like I'm just trying to further my own career, and staying here would hamper that, you have to just let it go. It's like a relationship, man. If you're not good for each other, why would you stay together? Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, you're right, man. Like, you're spot on. Once people move on, you got to move on as well. Stop like dwelling in the past. That's why I think like teams don't move on. You know what I mean? Like us and Man United. Like we're stuck in the past, hence why like it took us 30 years to get out of that. And you got to learn from past mistakes, man. You got to learn from past mistakes. So G, let me continue. Please subscribe to G, people. Please, he's an amazing content creator. You know what I mean? I wish I had him earlier on here. You know what I mean, but yeah, I don't know why and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll move on to the current times. G, obviously Klopp's gone. What did you feel when Klopp announced that he was leaving, bro?
Yeah. I'm trying to say this without being disrespectful. I've got my controversial views anyway. But listen, look, I'll be honest. I wanted Klopp to leave for ages. Like, I just felt like.
What was your reasons for that, though?
I just felt like it was time. Like, he just became stale, and I felt exactly what you just said there about Liverpool. It's just not changing with him. It's all the same things, and doing the same things is not doing anything for us. Like, we're not. If we were in a position where we were doing the same things, whether style of play, whatever, training, and all this, the players that we sign and don't sign, etc. If it was winning all the time or more consistently, I would have no problem with that. But he just always felt like he just got to a point now where what I'm doing is working, so I'm just going to keep doing the same thing, and not understanding that in club football things change very, very quickly, as we saw Arsenal out of nowhere challenging for a title. Second year, they're still challenging for a title. Do you know what I mean? Like, football changes just like that, and we don't even know what's going to happen now. So I just always looked at Klopp, and obviously I know this is just a personal thing.
Listen, this is what I'm here for, man. You know what I mean? I know people are scared to ask questions like this, but that's what I'm here for. Tomorrow I'm gonna be with Igal. I'm gonna ask him about Arsenal. So, and the next day I'm gonna be with Nuruddin. I'm gonna ask him about the Glazers and Ratcliffe and that. So, this is what I want to do now. Is that I want to ask you guys these questions, because I don't think many people ask these questions about how you feel about managers and all that stuff. You're right. Listen, I agree with you. It became stuck. We couldn't move. We're playing 4-3-3 for about how many seasons?
For about 10 years. It's the same thing. Like, and for me, I think people always used to get it. What annoys me about people when we have this Klopp conversation is that people always feel like me saying that, for example, is disrespecting his whole time at Liverpool.
No.
Done some amazing things for Liverpool. We know that, but they just, like Jose Mourinho at Chelsea. There just came a point where you're like, you need to go now, because you're not helping the situation. And at some point, it's like, we just have to move on if we want to move forward. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, but because it's Klopp, he can do." No, like at some point, move forward. You're not. It's not like Liverpool are winning 3 out of the last 6 Premier Leagues, for example. Where you're like, okay, every other season Liverpool, or we've done back to back. We're not doing that. So if we're not doing that, you're not really helping us move forward. Then are you? Like you're kind of keeping us where we are. But Liverpool fans were so scared to almost say that because it's like, oh, but he won us our
what
first
is that?
league,
That's what I meant to ask you as well, G. Sorry to interrupt, brother. What is it with our what is it with our fan base? Like when a fan talks about reality, they don't want to hear it. But when a fan wants to talk about something that's not true, they want to hear it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when you're true, honestly, true to yourself, and you're saying it how you want to say it, they don't want to hear it. But you know, when there's fake stuff going on, they love to hear things like that. What's wrong with our fan base about that? I don't really understand it.
Like, you see, for me, it's like this stuff here, like what Hollywood Rock just put in there. He said 1 in 35 years.
Yeah,
you're saying 1 in like, and by the way, very true, of course. 35 years. The problem that Liverpool, I feel that Liverpool fans always have is that for them, because Klopp got that one, it's like there is. He's just a part of this like immortal kind of realm.
They're talking about statues as well, by the way. They're talking about
statues and all.
Well, like, where's Joe Fagan's statue? He's won the treble.
This is what I'm talking about. These kind of things. Like I'm like, you're really gonna give Klopp a statue before some of the actual greats that who I've never even seen, but I've done my research. But behind these guys, you're gonna give Klopp because he won 1 Premier League in the whole time that, and again, not to discredit him, he won the Premier League, so that in itself is fantastic. But I'm sorry if that's the conversation that people are having. I'm like, that doesn't even make remote sense. And then on top of that, it's like you can't even have a conversation because Liverpool, as we know, we're a very emotional fan base. We're so attached to our team and players. And listen, that in itself is fine. The problem is, when you're so emotional about something, you can't really have a real conversation with people because you only realistically can see it from one side. Unfortunately for me, I've always been a football fan before a Liverpool fan, so I'm able to.
Well, without football, there ain't gonna be Liverpool, is there? I mean,
but for some reason, but you and I both know, for some people, it's not that. Some people, it's Liverpool are the reason why I even watch football or I even like football and stuff like that. Just because my granddad or my dad or my mom, my grandma. You're built into, which is fine. Again, by the way, there's no right or wrong. It's just me just using that as an example, right? But for me, because I've always just liked football way before I like supported Liverpool, I've just always looked at things that, or maybe from this side, and I'm not saying you can't be biased at times, but sometimes in today's day and age in social media, people are so biased that it's like you can't even conversate now because it's like, oh, well, that means if I say I like pineapples, all you heard was, oh, so you don't like strawberries. I didn't say I don't like strawberries, brother. I just said I don't like pineapples. That's all I said. But for some reason in social media, all they hear is, oh, you don't like strawberries, you don't like grapes, you don't like, I'm like, no. Listen to what I'm saying. And not everything is linear as just, oh, because I've said one thing, it must mean something else. No, exactly. Klopp is done really well for Liverpool in the time that he was here. I still feel on the flip side, he should have done way better. He had the teams to do it, and he had the players to be able to do so. He didn't achieve what I thought he was going to be able to achieve by the time he left Liverpool. Yeah. So guess what? And big up Steve, by 2020, I'll be honest, maybe, but the season after we won the Premier League, once I saw that season, I was like, I don't really want to see any more of Klopp anymore. Because even the season that we then won the double afterwards, when we were trying to go for 4 trophies, I wasn't happy with what I really saw. I was kind of like, don't like the football. Everything looks stale. It's kind of boring. What happens? Season after that, Liverpool finished 5th. Season after that, Liverpool finished 3rd. And we're not even really close to challenging for that title. It was just going downhill for me, man. And that's why I just said, I just need something new and something different, and I don't know what Slot's going to do. But just something that will take us forward, hopefully.
Yeah, this is what I want to move on to it next, actually, because Slot, this team, what do you think they're gonna do in the coming season, bro? Like, our whole backroom stuff has changed, obviously, even the CEO and all that stuff. Can they go back to what we did. Do you remember when we was the standard in the Premier League? Like everybody wanted to do what Liverpool wanted to do when Michael Edwards was there, and and Julian Ward and all these guys. I've always said it. Like the successful teams, if you look at Arsenal Football Club, how did they got? They're not successful because they haven't won anything. I agree, but you see the improvement. You see the players they're buying. They are improving, whether you like to say it or not. We'll discuss that tomorrow. But what they did, what Liverpool did, like what they started with was the CEO. I think the owner Kroenke, I think his son took the Arsenal. The son took over. They got Edu in. They got other people in who are actually close to the club, who actually support the club or something like that, like Liverpool did when we had Michael Edwards and it was Peter Moores and all them lot. So now we're going back to that. And not only that, we've got a head coach. I think for the first time, I don't think Liverpool Football Club ever had a head coach.
Never had one.
I can't remember in my time. Is it the right way of going forward? Because a lot of people saying him not being a manager is wrong. And I said, how is that wrong? It takes a lot of responsibilities away from him. I know we need that father figure in the team, in the football club, that does the political side as well as the football side and all this stuff. But sometimes we've got to move away from that and think about the football team, you know what I mean? And this is what a head coach does. He will improve the players because he's only concentrating on the players. He's not concentrating outside the football. This is why Richard Hughes, Julian Ward and Michael Edwards are there for. They're going to be concentrating on things like that. So what do you think of that, like heading towards that direction, bro?
In terms of expectations, at the moment I don't know, purely because we haven't got in a manager I feel has enough credibility yet. That's not to say he will not get that. That's not to say he will not be a fantastic manager, but I just think he does lack credibility at this moment in time because he's not really done enough, in my personal opinion, for me to be super excited. You can say the style of football if you like it. Fair enough, that's not a problem. But outside of that,
was he even in your top 5 when he first?
He wasn't even.
For me, he wasn't even in my top 10. I don't know who he is.
I didn't even think of someone like. If I had to list all the managers, he wasn't even there. I wouldn't even have put him on that list because I just said, nah, that's not the manager that I would want to see. But again, he's the manager, and that's not really a problem for me. In terms of the head coach and manager stuff, you're right. It always going to come down to listen, this father figure stuff. Maybe this is good that we're not going to have all of this nonsense anymore where he's the father figure to everybody. Just focus on the football, win us the trophies, and let's go home. We need to become, I just think with
the Liverpool, club that we used to be, basically.
Yeah, just a bit more, not ruthless might be a wrong word, but there's a ruthlessness to the way that we do things. And I think Liverpool have been so nicey because everything is about, we do this our way, which is fine. I've got no problem with that. Every club is different. But
even Klopp said that when he left, didn't he? At the end, the last interview, he said that, I did it the Liverpool way. So he's saying he didn't do it his way then. That's what I was confused about. So
but this is what I'm saying. I'm like, again, I get all of that. And listen, guys, it all depends on how you want to see things. Do you want to win? If the answer is yes, this is Liverpool way, bullshit. Let's just get rid of all of that. Do it the way that needs to be done in order for the club to move forward. Because guess what happens? When you do that, it becomes the Liverpool way. That's what's going to be the Liverpool way, which is then, as Fozzie said, during his time of watching Liverpool, you become that team. Because the team that you started supporting watching back in the 80s, you think about them to the team that you then saw basically from the 1990s all the way up until Klopp got here. Those are two different teams. That's two different teams.
They didn't care. It's all about winning, bro.
Exactly. It was all it became something else.
People door open, door closed, door open. It doesn't matter if it's Kenny Dalglish. It doesn't matter if it's Kevin Keegan. It doesn't matter who it was. Shankly to Paisley to Fagan to Dalglish. It was like that. It was just moving. We was moving with times. Now we don't do that. We will cry about things and keep things that's not working. That's what I don't understand. We've got to move on, man. Maybe this is the best thing that could happen to the football club. Just, head coach that just concentrates on the players, improve players. Because if you look at our system from the under 9s all the way to the first team, we're all in the same pitch, next to each other. So we could improve in that way. And, with this structure we have under these guys, like who no longer gonna have the responsibilities. Let's be honest there, because the responsibilities is with Marco Edwards now and his crew. Maybe this is the way forward as well, G. If you think about it, like getting players from the youth to the first team, and you see last season, especially with Dan's and was it Clark and McConnell and all these players that come through. It shows like the youth system is working, but I'm not saying like end it there. Buy the players that could fit the system as well at the same time, but not spend over the odds, as we can't do anyway. But maybe this is the way forward, bro. Maybe this is why they got Slot in, because he could work with the youth as well as the first team and progress in the next coming seasons.
You know what? Maybe because like it seems like from listening to his interviews, Liverpool have a way that they wanted to do things, and he just fits that mold of whatever it is. It never really, to me, really sounded too much about winning.
Yeah, I didn't hear
like,
that.
Like it didn't. And again, I'm not saying he doesn't. Obviously, everybody wants to win, but I'm not saying that didn't sound like a focus for me. For me, the focus was just like, I want to kind of continue. I'm really good at working with young players. That's probably why they like it. It was never really like. And obviously, there's only one Pep Guardiola. But when you get in a manager sometimes, and it's like, no, I can't get to. Yeah, almost, and I hate that word, but it's that. It's like the aura. It's like you've come in and I'm only here to win. Like all that other stuff is great. Like that's all cute, but that is literally the bottom of my list. I don't care about that stuff. Why? I'm only here to win. So I'm going to try to do everything I can to win. That's not what I heard from him, though. What he was more talking about was, so we're going to do this and we're going to try and do. He did speak about winning in small parts. It was like, this is a club that's won, talking about the past and things like that. Not so much about what he's going or trying to do. It was just more about, the other things. So, listen, look, at the moment, I'm not here to even, I don't judge him, at all. In terms,
he's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong, bro.
He's done nothing right or wrong. I'm just like, right now you're right smack a bang in the middle. So that, which is a good place to be, really, because then it's like, okay, because if he was like a top manager, I'd have high expectations. If he doesn't meet them, then you end up like Chelsea, just revolving door, right? But right now we're in the middle, and it's like, let's just see what that looks like at the end of this first season. Then we can judge it from there. Come the end of the first season, you'll look at it one of two ways. You'll either say, I can see where we're going. Or sorry, one of three ways. See where we're going. That was absolutely phenomenal. Or, Jesus Christ, I haven't got a clue what he's doing with this team right now. Those are the only three ways you're going to see it at the end of the season.
100%, bro. 100%. Obviously, we're ending the show. Last thing I want to ask you is the transfer, bro. Who do you want? What positions do you actually need? What positions do we have to fill in?
Jesus Christ. I would be signing, let's say in an ideal world, like if I really could, I would sign someone like a Nico Schlotterbeck from Borussia Dortmund. You play left back, you play left centre back. And I feel like Liverpool need something like that in their team. I would look at the DM. I wanted Fofana, but he's gone to AC Milan. At this moment, I don't really know what type of DM I would want at this moment in time, because I don't know who's really available like that, so to speak. If Kimmich was available, I'll just say go and sign someone like Kimmich. But if not, then I don't really care. I think they're all kind of meaty anyway. Even Edison, I don't even think he's even that good. I just think he's a part of like a level of play.
Have you watched him constantly, bro? Like, have you checked him out?
Not constantly. Checked him out, yes, but I've not watched him constantly. So in terms of the videos that I've seen of him, obviously the 3 times I've seen him this season, I was like, he himself is good, but I mean, you're just a part of like I could name a lot of Edisons, if that makes sense. Like I can name a lot of players on your type of level who might be able to do different things, but just you're in that kind of bunch. You're not great, you're not shit or anything. You're just in that you're okay kind of thing. But again, I won't be angry or excited if we signed him. I'll just be like, okay, decent player. Let's see what he can do. I would be signing. I'll be looking at, even though I think he's going to go Barcelona, Nico Williams. I mean, I would get rid of Diaz or Gakpo, whoever you want.
Diaz,
and I'll be signing Yeah, it looks like it might be. Yeah, so get rid of him.
Yesterday, it wasn't even in the game. You know what I mean? Like, what is that all about,
Yeah,
bro?
that's what a lot of people kept telling me wasn't in the game. But even just whoever one you want to get rid of, I'd get rid of any one of those two. I'd sign Nico Williams, or if you can, which I know unrealistic, I'd go and get a Kvaratskhelia or a Kudus. That kind. I wanted Michael Elise, but he's gone Bayern Munich. Like these players are just going to top clubs, and we're just not really. You know, that's the only thing that annoys me about Liverpool is like these are top players, these are good players. Let's not act like they're not. And let's not act like they wouldn't come to this team and improve the team, but we're not getting them. Outside of that, I don't really have too much of a preference. I'm just more interested to see who Liverpool sign, really and truly, because I don't think, let's put it this way, I don't think Liverpool are going to do anything next season anyway. So,
You don't think like we're going to be challenging or anything like that? Is it top 4 for you?
Yeah, I don't think we'll challenge. I think that's Manchester City and Arsenal, unless they fall off. But I don't see that happening, especially Arsenal. I don't see that happening. So I think those two will be, I think they'll create a gap next season between them and whoever finishes third and fourth. Because I think where they're at the moment, Arsenal more so, because when I look at their players, Declan Rice's, the Bukayo Saka's, they're reaching a certain age point where, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but if I just looked at it in terms of progression, they're reaching a point where I'm like, these guys are starting to, because they've had two title challenges so far.
Third time lucky, probably, yeah.
Potentially third time lucky, but that's 2 years of experience a lot of these players have now got.
Yeah.
Listen, and obviously Man City are Man City, so they're just going to be there anyway. I think they'll create a gap, and I think it's going to be a battle for third and fourth next season to try and get in the Champions League. But I don't see Liverpool signing any players that are going to take us from the gap to challenge for a title at the moment.
I don't know if I asked you, like, what positions do you think we need to fill in the team in order for us to even come close? If you was a manager,
honestly, Liverpool should be going out there to sign a striker. I think that would be one of the main.
You're done with Darwin, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been done with the guy for ages. But I just think that and listen again, people, I just need people to understand. I don't know what's going to happen next season. For all I know, Darwin's going to score 40 goals next season and just completely turn it around. But I don't see that happening. So in a realistic world, I would be saying to Liverpool, if you play the way that you've been playing similarly anyway, you just need to go out there and sign an accomplished striker. This striker does not need to cost you £100 million. I promise you, there are strikers out there who don't even cost that much, who are more accomplished players. Liverpool just need that. They just need a number 9 to go out there and get them goals. After that, then you're looking at, you could say DM and stuff, but I just think if Liverpool just had a better striker, a lot of things would be a bit different. And I don't think we'd be focusing so much on the defensive side, of our game. But if you do, then maybe another centre-back and another central midfield player. I feel like we've got some really average central midfield players who don't really add anything to our team. So maybe I would look at that position as well to take us to the next level.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. That's what I think. Like three players. I think like a centre back.
3 players
to replace Matip, obviously, and we need a DM, a mobility one. We need someone that could, run about on that pitch. You know what I mean? And help the gaps out. We because a lot of gaps appear in our team, and if you have a Makelele, Kante type of midfielder, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You never get a team in the world. So the best teams in the world, you don't get them without that DM. You know what I mean? They always have that DM that's a midfield general, and that's what we're missing in our midfield. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Szoboszlai running up and down and helping Trent and Salah out. You know what I mean? The guy's got more quality than that. Come on.
You used the right word. I won't even say the word DM, but the word you just used there. Liverpool have no midfield generals, like none. There's no general in Liverpool's midfield where you're like, regardless of what position you play, you are the boss. You are the guy. Because even Rodri's not even really a DM, but he is the midfield general in that. Even Declan Rice.
Would Spain win without Rodri?
No.
Would Spain?
No.
There you go.
I mean, they wouldn't have gone to where they got to without having a midfield general. Liverpool have none, not even close to anybody in that team.
No, 100%. All right, guys, that's another show done. I respect you, G. Thanks for coming on, bro.
No, much love, man. Much love.
Where can people find you, bro? Let them know.
GTV, man. GTV. I think now it should just be GTV FC because I tried to shorten it so that it was easier for people. But if not, GTV Football Channel. Yeah, man, find me on there. You'll catch me on the Enza stream. You'll catch me. I'll mostly be there during the summer anyway. Again, if Fozzie's got anything popping,
100%.
you can always give me a shout, man. And yeah, listen, like this summer, I'm trying to. Now the football's like the tournaments are done.
Yeah.
Now we're getting back to the things. So, bro, to be honest, I'm available, man. So anytime.
Listen, you're always welcome, bro. You're always welcome. Same if you want me in yours, I'll always come in it. So
no, 100%.
Yeah, it's no more work. So
yeah,
I do want to come on. I'm gonna be free in the next week. I'm gonna go to New York, but I'm taking my laptop with me. Maybe at night when I'm in the room, I could just get on streams and all that stuff.
What's the time difference? Do you know? What's the time difference in New York and here? I want to say 5 hours.
7 hours, is it?
Oh, 7 hours.
Something like that. I think it's 5 or 7. It's one of those two anyway. So I'll be up anyway, bro. I'll be up, and we could do something 100%. Yeah, people, I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with Igal, if he turns up, you know what I mean? And I'm going to do another stream after that with the structure. Therapy Army, let's be having him. Yeah, so I already spoke to both of them. Hopefully they'll be coming on. So we're going to be discussing similar things like this, content creating, plus, how they support the football club and, all the, doubts they have and all the positives they have about their football club as well. So yeah, that's me done. That's G done. Please go subscribe to G as soon as we get off air. Take care, everybody. Take care. Take care. Thanks, G, bro.
Nah, it's all love, man.
Big up, brother. Let's go. G, you can go, man. I know you got things to do. I'll speak to you later, bro. Yeah?
All right, that's all, bro, man.
You take care, brother. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.